If you like this video, please give a thumbs up and subscribe. Hit the bell icon to be notified of new videos. USO. If the vast majority of people think that are probably the flying machines with which our planet is visited by the beings of the cosmos, few are the ones who have heard of the mysterious objects that cross the underwaters of the lakes and oceans, just like the similar devices that fly in the sky. Does it prefer some UFOs to travel under the water? Or are we dealing with a new category of mysterious objects? Two questions that modern science does not get to find answers. Those who pass through the depths incorporated in the oblivion of more well-known phenomena in the field, such as Area 51, the Voronezh episode, or 1 to 4 Great Encounters, the case of Unidentified Submerged Objects, USO, in a specific language, raises a series of new questions, sensitively different from those accompany the classic, already, theme of UFOs. According to the reputed UFO scientist, Dr. Timothy Good, strange objects that travel through the Earth's waters bring into question one of the most disturbing theories about visitors from other worlds. People, being self-proclaimed the most intelligent and powerful species on Earth, find it difficult to accept the possibility of being visited at a certain moment by far superior beings from other planets. What can we do in front of creatures from other worlds moving through the water as easily as their fellow creatures roam the heavens in flying ships? What are they looking for on Terra? What do they want from us? Why is it moving through lakes and oceans? Some immense stretches of water have mysterious properties that allow them to be true interdimensional crossing gates? We do not know yet. People's knowledge of this captivating subchapter is, yet, summed up to simple assumptions along with a review of the most important cases recorded in the ever-increasing volume of UFO phenomenology. We find it surprising that the accounts of USO are hundreds of years old, just like many more famous UFOs. It seems that people have mentioned in their writings and chronicles metallic objects, most often bright or provided with headlamp-like devices that cut off ocean waters at high speed. They often sank into the depths, disappearing without a trace from the amazed eyes of the seafarers. Sometimes they suddenly poured out of the waters to fly to the heavens. Reciprocation was sometimes valid, some eyewitnesses from previous centuries retelling in documents preserved today about UFO-like devices that sink subtly, preferring as submarine transport, which hid them from the eyes of people's astonishment. According to some reports, the USOs that stood on the glaciers of the poles were melting ice as they moved to the surface, leaving behind them true free channels in the ice caps. Did they perform so well because of the heat emanating from the engines or the fogging layer of friction, as the crews of Soviet ships overlying the Arctic and Antarctica were saying? USO in Arctic and Antarctica instead. The crews of fishing vessels that were witnesses to USOs in industrial fishing fleets declared that strange objects are responsible for the disappearance of fish in the area, and experts have depleted the variance of such a situation where visitors from other worlds, they stole the fish, the creatures of the sea were frightened by running away from swimming underwater, or fish and other animals were leaving the polluted waters after the object passed. Some of the extraterrestrial enthusiasts go so far as to say that visitors from other planets have ecological inclinations, warning the fish banks not to come close to the Homo sapiens species. Several underwater files. Probably the most credible USO incident occurred on September 4, 1971, when 4 members of the National Geographic Institute of Costa Rica flew from a bimetal coat lake near the Arenal volcano. The team of researchers wanted to map and photograph the entire area that at that time was still unexplored. For this purpose, the expedition has a special camera attached to the bottom of the plane. The camera was in a large format and triggered automatically every 20 seconds to take a new photo of the lake and its surroundings. At the end of the research mission, when specialists developed the photo, they noticed a bizarre presence, which at first seemed to be a 36-meter diameter metal discarded when it was just entering the deep waters of the lake. The object, whose details were accurately captured by the camera, did not appear in any other instance of the movie. Subsequent studies at Kodak headquarters in the United States have shown, without stamping, that there is no flaw of refraction, chromatic aberration, or another defect in photography, the specialists declaring the photo to be purely authentic. Lake Cote is a very deep one, and there are many accounts of locals who frequently saw flying objects entering or coming out of their water at high speed. The day after the incident involving the 4 National Geographic members at 9 a.m., 2 fishermen on a lake boat heard a metallic noise nearby. When they turned their heads in the direction of the sound, they saw a metallic submarine object equipped with 3 turrets. Shortly without noise, the giant machine came out of the water and headed for the mountains to the north of the lake. On the night of November 6, 1973, there was another meeting with a USO, this time near the eastern coast of the United States. The fishermen of Pascagoula, Mississippi, were direct witnesses, as did the Coast Guard. In total, 9 witnesses saw a circular elliptical metal object, about 6 meters long and have a golden light at the top. The object moves without noise over the water at a height of 1 to 2 meters. As soon as people spotted him and began shouting and shaking, the object sank into the water, as if hiding from people. The Coast Guard made a detailed report and contacted the closest US-based Navy in the area. To the surprise of everyone, the American Navy radars have identified a metallic object of 6 meters in the same area. There is, however, a place on Earth that can easily be called the capital of USO phenomena, and in no other area of the world, there is a place where the frequency of strange objects in the depths is so great. It's Puerto Rico, a tropical island in the Caribbean Sea. Puerto Rico is located in the corner of the famous Bermuda Triangle, famous for the number of unexplained displacements of boats, ships, planes, and helicopters. A large number of USO incidents have been reported around the El Yunque Jungle Mountains and jungles. Here, the USO UFO phenomenon has become so commonplace that locals have become accustomed to them as daily incidents. So did the American Marines who were assigned to missions in the area. Very many people have seen UFOs riding with water. Once I saw a beautiful one. At first, I thought it was a boat. It looked black underneath, and in the upper part, it had many red and blue lights. As soon as he noticed me, he sank, disappearing into the sea, says Jose Orlando Goles, an official of the Puerto Rican government stationed in El Yunque. Felix Rivera is a professional diver who owns his own recreational or industrial diving company near the American Naval Air Station, one of the American bases on the island. Felix confirmed that many USO witnesses are soldiers and US military personnel at the base. Navy SEALs, the elite troops of the American Navy, are often trained here. Many of them have told me about encounters with such strange objects. Some say mysterious appliances are often approaching their training boats. But when Americans get too close to them or pull in their direction, objects sink and disappear at an impossible speed for any man-made machine. He adds, north of Puerto Rico is an area called the San Juan Strait, a place feared today by American authorities who are alarmed by a large number of military and private aircraft that have disappeared and continue to disappear regularly in this place. A place that would rightly deserve the fame created around the Bermuda Triangle. Even more interesting is what happens in the depths of the San Juan Strait, where the researchers discovered a deep submarine fault over 9,000 meters. Here is, in fact, the deepest point in the Atlantic. The underwater pressure is so great that life is normally impossible, and any man-made submarine would be crushed by the immense pressure of water. The reports of the Navy and U.S. Aviation report about a circular-shaped metallic ship that often appears above the water, stationing for an indefinite period of time before sinking without a trace into the blue of the Atlantic. What does the Russian Navy hide? Russia, including the former Soviet space, hides a range of USO phenomena, highly documented and studied by several prestigious specialists. Recently, the leaders of the Russian Center for Studies of the UFO phenomenon have accepted to publish only a small part of the information considered by the Kremlin to be capable of provoking panic among the population. The SAFE dossier was handed to researchers Paul Stonehill and Philip Mantle, the two researchers announcing that they will write a book based on the data that will treat all USO case history in Russia's history. One of the most spectacular cases is that a Soviet warship spotted an unidentified object moving through the Pacific Ocean through its submarine detection equipment. The ship's commanders thought they had discovered an American submarine on an espionage mission. The strange object stood deep, the Russian officers launching radio calls in which they were tending to surrender. The shock of everyone came when the object decided to leave the Soviet ship. It disappeared astonishingly fast, radars calculating that the submarine ship was moving at a speed of about 450 km per hour at a depth of 5,000 meters, while the maximum speed of the most efficient submarine built with the current technologies does not exceed 65 km per hour at a maximum depth of 50 meters. The first case of USOs studied by the Soviets refers to the Odessa incident, when several officers and soldiers from the Sevastopol naval base have observed and identified a USO that left the Black Sea in August 1950 in the immediate approach of a Soviet military cruiser. Since then, according to data recently sent by Russian authorities, over 300 USO cases have been counted, which makes it right to ask ourselves what information is hidden in the Russian Navy databases?